Oh no, it's tilted!
Today, I want to talk about how I put out so many freaking videos on my main channel. So, I've got a bunch of things I wrote down here, a bunch of thoughts, because there's a bunch of little things that all kind of add up. So, the first thing is an efficient setup, and there are a couple aspects of this. First of all, my setup is as bare bones as possible, and I have kind of a permanent set. It looks nice just in my room, fortunately, so I can kind of justify having this up. But these lights and those lights just live there. I sit in the middle, and that's basically it. I have a ring light around me here. Once again, super simple. I have a very, very high quality Sony point and shoot camera, which is very easy to operate, and I basically never change the settings, so that's all dialed in right there. I have a mic stand for synth stuff, and I have this little handy recorder recording my my vocals, and this little clip-on mic. And all I have to do, clap, sync up that footage, and good to go. I process it a little bit, and I'll hand it off to my friend Ian to edit, and I'll get into that in a second. And then for video stuff, I recently made my setup way more efficient. Now, I can show you, I have a webcam, a Super HD webcam with my refurbished Mac, which is super fast, which is beautiful. And for that, all I have to do is hit record, and then I record this separately. That way I can mix the audio of my voice separately from the audio of, come on, buddy. I can mix the audio of my voice in with the audio of my DAW and kind of control the level so neither is loud or too overpowering. Okay, I'm just leaving this as it is. Stay! And so I have a very efficient setup where basically all I have to do is hit record, and that saves time. And that adds up over time as well. So up next, for these, I try to edit as little as possible. That's like a rule for myself, because I'm already kind of at capacity, but I wanted to do this as a creative outlet for stuff. So my rule is very little editing, and that keeps it more sustainable. On my main channel for editing, I pay my friend Ian Rowan, and he and I have a deal worked out for a percentage split of YouTube income. So at this point, the channel is generating not a ton of revenue, but a non-zero amount. And so I can reinvest some of that back into synths, and then I can pay Ian to edit videos for me, which is fantastic. So I can film, and I even have stuff that I do for him. So it's like, if I'm making a beat from scratch video, if I come up with something good, I will clap 3 times. That way he can see the spike, the little triple spike in audio, and know, oh, he just did something that he wants included in the video. I better grab that little part. Because oftentimes I'll record for like an hour of sometimes me kind of messing around trying to come up with something cool, and I want the video to be as entertaining as possible, and so I try to cut out the just messing around aimlessly parts. I'm not really centered in the frame, am I? So I've got that going for me as well, and that helps him out, that helps both of us make more videos. And that's something that maybe you might not be able to implement, but try to do as much as you can to streamline your editing process. That'll really help. And so stuff like little signifiers to, also if you're not editing while looking at the audio timeline, you should start doing that. That'll also help dramatically speed up your workflow. But leave indicators to yourself of like when a good take was. That way you don't have to watch through the whole thing necessarily. You can just go find those specific parts. Moving on, probably the biggest thing to the reason I'm so prolific on my main channel is that I stockpile videos like an insane person. And that comes in a couple of forms. First of all, I am a month's worth of videos ahead at all times. And that didn't happen quickly, and that didn't happen by accident. Last summer, when I was working as an intern at the City of Slow, every weekend I would go crazy. I would do nothing, virtually nothing, but work on videos, other than like in the evening hang out with friends. But during the day, make videos. And I had multiple formats that I could make, so I wasn't like exhausting myself, and I'll get into the multiple formats thing in a second, but I really went hard on making videos and making music. And eventually that allowed me to go up to 2 videos a week during that summer, and then I just kept doing it. And I kept bringing that same intensity. Even though I was ahead, now that I was ahead, I went, okay, I'm not going to act like I'm ahead, I'm going to act like I have to do another video this week. And so I just kept up that intensity. Every little spare bit of time, I would still work like a crazy person to make videos, and that way over time I've built up a stockpile. And so when I went up to 3 videos during quarantine, now I've been able to sustain that because I had a stockpile going. So Stockpiling is huge. Also, I will batch film sometimes. So for videos like this where I just talk to the camera, often I will film 2 or 3 videos in one sitting. For instance, during this session, I already filmed the intern video and I'm working on an Ovation Circuit video about making trap beats on the circuit. That's all in the same day. And it helps that I kind of wear the same thing all the time. If it was up to me, I would just wear black t-shirts all the time. And so I can kind of get away with wearing the same thing because it's kind of part of my aesthetic at this point. It's debatable in terms of the quality of the aesthetic, but it is an aesthetic. It's the whole minimalist thing, whatever. Or you could change shirts between videos. I've done that before, but people don't care. They really don't care if you wear the same thing in every video. It becomes a part of the thing, you know, the Tom Scott method, basically. Because Tom Scott has his famous red t-shirt. So yeah, batch filming can be really helpful so you don't go through setup. And also have outlines prepared. Don't go into a video completely unprepared, not knowing what you're gonna say, or in my case, I even try to go into a video knowing vaguely what I'm gonna make. Lately, I've been building up my stockpile of song ideas. That way, if I wanna make a video, all I have to do is sit down, hit record, and I have a song idea ready to go, so then I just have to make the thing. And I'll be upfront with that about that with my viewers. I'll say, I've already got a melody in mind, or earlier I was working on this thing and now I wanna actually make it. I'll be honest about it, and it doesn't make it a less entertaining video. It's the same level of entertainment, especially since I think watching someone who has a bit of a game plan can be more entertaining because they actually know what they're doing and they don't mess around or waste time. And of course, that also makes for a more efficient edit. So I have a stockpile of ideas, I have a stockpile of video outlines, and then I film in batches, and that leads to me having a stockpile of videos, so I'm always ahead. And that also gives me the freedom to experiment a bit with other video formats, put stuff on the second channel, all that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend building up your stockpile if you are at all interested in doing YouTube, especially even if you do have all the time in the world, still build up a stockpile. It's a huge deal. And it's allowed me to go to 3 videos a week. That plus working with Ian, those 2 things have allowed me to go to 3 videos a week. And with those, I mentioned formats earlier, I've got specific formats that I know I can fall back on. So I've got the circuit jams, or the synth jams in general. I said circuit jams, like the bit of Freudian slip, that's obviously the main one. Synth jams on Mondays, and that allows me to just make music whenever I feel like it, and then I can film that in a batch if I feel like it. There's the opinion or review videos, and those are also good for batch producing because I can if I have outlines, I can film multiple of those in one session. That's what I'm doing right now. And then I have the beat making or tutorials. Having the tutorial option is nice because that means if I'm not really feeling creative or I don't have many ideas, I can kind of fall back on that and people will still find it useful and I'll still have fun making it. And then I can do the beat making stuff if I do have an idea ready. Usually I have the hook of the video before I ever hit record. That's another huge thing, is know what you want to record, like even know what the title and thumbnail are going to be before you ever hit record. That's been huge for me. So even if I do a video that relies on me creating something from scratch, I at least have an idea of what the gimmick is or what the general vibe I'm going for is and what the idea is, so then I can just go and do it. And that all helps with efficiency, and that helps make a much more interesting video for the viewer at the end, which is what really matters. So I try to balance the quantity and quality because I want to make stuff that I'm genuinely proud of and that I would genuinely watch, but I want to do it in a time-efficient manner. I think that's everything I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to watch a video about what I've learned getting to 20K subscribers on my main channel, you can click or tap up over here. Be sure to subscribe.